He said that relationships will give you 100x. I disagree with that. It'll give you 1,000, 1,000,000, sometimes infinite return. Growing up, where we grew up in the trenches, in the hood, you was taught, if I don't know you, I don't know you. Guys, that's wrong. If you come into an event with somebody, you should not be talking to them. You know them already. You come into these events, meet somebody new, not talk to the same person you came with, have the same conversations that you always have, and live the same life that you always live. And you don't gotta be in business to network. You could be a stay-at-home parent. You don't have to be just a big-time business person to get out there, to get exposure, to meet new people. Lead with value. And whenever I exchange contact with someone, I'm following up and reaching back out to them within 24 hours of our first interaction. Today, we're giving you our top 3 networking hacks. Let's get exposed. Welcome to another edition of the Expose and Expand podcast show. I'm the man with the plan, Jeremy Mathis. I'm Joshua. I'm going to give you the game, Mathis, and welcome to another edition of the Expose and Expand podcast show, where we expose you to the ideas, the strategies, the struggles, the failures, the people, and the experiences that have gotten us from 0 to millions. In episode 3, we talked about one of the top assets that you could have in your life that'll give you 100x return if you use it the right way. And that was talking about building relationships. We talked about wealthy relationships in episode 3. And if you've been listening to the Expose and Expand podcast show over some episodes, you understand that we know and believe that relationships are vital to success. As we were thinking about today's topic and what we're going to talk about, we realized that we've been failing y'all. We realized that we exposed you to one of the critical ways to build relationships. That critical way, and what you need to know, is how to network. Today, we're giving you our top 3 networking hacks that we use in our own personal life to build relationships, make more money, and do great things in life. Let's get exposed. And guys, as always, man, we want to grow the show, so we appreciate your love and support. So if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Be sure to share and expose someone else to the episode. And if you're listening on any of the podcast players, please hit that follow button and leave us a 5-star review. But before we start, I disagree with one of the things that Jerm said. He said that relationships will give you 100x. I disagree with that. It'll give you 1,000, 1,000,000, sometimes an infinite return. Guys, like, relationships have changed our life. Relationships have changed our perspective. Relationships have made us money. And what we're going to talk about today is something that Jerm and I have learned and we've gotten so much better at over the years, but it is something that has changed the trajectory of our family. Yes, guys, and today we're talking about networking. We're going to give you our top 3 hacks of what we do when we're out networking and we're meeting people so that we can build relationships with them. Growing up, where we grew up in the trenches, in the hood, you was taught, if I don't know you, I don't know you. Guys, that's wrong. That's wrong. You need to be get out there meeting new people. You need to be networking. You need to be getting yourself out there, because when you do that, you build relationships, you get exposure, you meet different people, and your life will change. So networking is critical to your success. Yeah. But one thing that you said that I want to talk about before we jump into the points, which I really want us to address, is like the people who don't network, the people who think that I don't need no new friends, because we used to be that person. Like, I want to talk to that person. Why is that person like that? How can that person unlearn that bad habit and create new habits? As we always say, exposure leads to expansion. And the person that's not trying to meet new people, the person that's not networking and getting out there and putting themselves out there, they haven't been exposed to the power of it. They haven't been exposed to how it can change their life. And again, it goes back to our message, and what we are trying to get across is that exposure leads to expansion. So that person, they're probably not networking because they haven't had somebody that, number one, exposed them. They haven't had somebody that challenged them as to their beliefs and their thought process, and helping them understand that you need new friends. You need new people in your life. But Jeremy, I've tried to network. I've tried to build new relationships, and the people have wronged me. They've backstabbed me. They've cheated me. What do you say to that person? I say to that person, go out and meet more people, because you've been around the wrong crowd. You hanging around the wrong people. If you've had all those experiences, that's on you. It goes back to a point that you made in we talked about in episode 52, when you said you have to take control of your life. And you made that point, and that person that's blaming other people and, oh, all this happened to me, you put yourself in that environment. You put yourself around those type of people, and understand that that's not always the case. You can't relate your future experiences to one bad experience that you had or a couple bad experiences. You just got to keep going, and you got to learn from trial and error. If you all those people that backstabbed you and did you wrong, you need to don't go to them places no more. Go to a different place. But nah, even so, like, and then even too, for the person who's went to an event and it's not even quote unquote those type of people there, and you may have been wrong, or someone may have disrespected you or didn't give you the energy of the conversation that you wanted. Don't allow those experiences to stop you from having future better experiences, right? You want to continue to expose yourself and get out there and network and build those relationships. So on either way, right, what Jeremy was saying, maybe you're just in the wrong place, or you're going to the wrong, you're around the wrong people, or even if you have good intentions and it's the right environment, but you just have one asshole in that environment who, creates a bad experience for you. Don't allow that to slow you down or stop you. Yes, sir. Let's get right to it. So my number one hack when it comes to networking is I'm going to teach you how to save a contact in your phone. And my wife, I didn't realize I did this until my wife helped me understand that I always did this. So every time I meet somebody new, not just at networking events, it could be at the gym, it could be at a bar, it could be anywhere. If I meet somebody new and we exchange contact information, I'm saving their entire name. I want to save their entire name so that I can remember them. After I save their name, I then put where they are from so that I know where they're from, and then I put their profession. So if they're a photographer, I put that. And then anything else that may help me remember them. But I always put where they are from or where they currently live and their profession, so that when I need something or if I need them in the future, I could just type it in my phone. So let me give you a better example. So if I'm at a bar and I meet somebody named Joshua Smith, I'm gonna save their and they tell me, Joshua Smith tells me he's a photographer and he lives in Southern California. I'm going to save his name as Joshua Smith, SoCal photographer. That way, if I need a photographer in Southern California, I could just type photographer in my phone and I'll know that's his location. This is something that just happened, honestly, because I just needed a way to continue to remember everybody that I met. And this has been something that's been huge for me as I've been networking and building relationships. So the first hack that I use is properly saving people's contact information in my phone so that I know how to reference it in the future. That's a really good hack, but I want to take that hack a step further. It's something that I heard someone else say on how they network, and not only do they do what Jerem said, and they said when they meet a person where they're from and save their profession, but if they see anything and that may relate to that person's profession, they send it to them. So let's say, for instance, I have 12 friends that's in real estate. If I see an article that's about real estate, I'm just going to send it to them. Just because I want them to know I'm thinking about them. I want them to know, like, hey, this is something that can probably help you and benefit you. And people appreciate those small gestures. Yeah, so I want to make sure that you guys understand that. So in my example, I'm talking about a photographer. Josh used real estate, but let's just go back to my example. If I see something new in photography or a new article about a camera, anybody that has photography next to their contact in my phone, that same article, I'm going to send it to everyone. And it's not going to be a mass text message, guys. Don't make it a mass text message. Make it a one-on-one personal conversation and just send them that article. Say, hey, I thought this would benefit you. Think about you. Hope all is well. And you've created another touch point for that person as you build that relationship with them. And that is so key, guys, because that allows you to show people that you're thinking about them and is more of a genuine touch, as opposed to you just reaching out to them when you need something. So that's a great point. So awesome. My first point that I want to make and when it comes to networking is lead with value. I'm going to say that again. Lead with value. Most people, when they network, they're looking to gain, as opposed to seeing how they can help the person they're talking to, as opposed to, hey, how can I add value to your situation and what you have going on? You have to understand that everyone is looking to take. So what's going to differentiate you is leading with value, seeing how you can help that person in one way, shape, or another. I had that I came with a lot of hacks today, and that was one of my hacks, because I truly understand as Josh said, most people when they're networking, they're looking to see what can they take, and you want to be the person that's a go-giver. You want to. Every time I'm networking, I'm going into the conversation looking to see how I can serve and help that person. I tailor my questions to see what their challenges are, so that I can see how I could be the one to help them. Because imagine you meet somebody for the first time, and within a week, you're able to help them. They're not going to forget that. They're not going to forget that. So for me, when I'm networking, I'm doing less talking, and I'm asking questions to see what are all your problems, to see who do I know that can help you, or learning everything that I can about you so that I can see how I can serve you. That's a great point. That is something that has served us so well, because like that's one thing that you and I do well. And it's not like, I don't even think it was intentional. It's just naturally who we are as people when it comes to leading with value. And as I said, that served us so well, because people know, like, we coming with love first before anything. I don't need nothing from you. I'm coming to give to you. And that is returned to us 100, 1,000 fold. Yes, guys. My second hack in networking is whenever I exchange contact with someone, I'm following up and reaching back out to them within 24 hours of our first interaction. The reason why I'm doing that is because I want them to remember me. In that, if you had a good event, you're going to talk to several people. Most of those people you talk to, you may never talk to them again. But a great networker, as I won't consider myself a great networker, but I consider myself good. If you're a great networker, you're following up with people so that they can remember who you are. For me, if it's a text message or if it's an email, I'm just saying, hey, Joshua Smith, great conversation last night. I left very inspired. And as a reminder, I was the one that had on the yellow jacket. And for me, when I go to different events, I try to wear things to make sure I stand out. So when I send my follow-up email, I'm the one that had this on. That way they can instantly connect to our conversation. So again, the second hack that I'm giving you is, once you get that contact information, send a follow-up email, a follow-up text message within 24 hours of meeting them, so that you can create another touch point and you can build stronger relationships. Man, Jaron stole one of my next point. But guys, that is a key point. Following up is what's going to take you to the next level. Following up is what's going to be the answer or the solution that you're looking for. And more importantly, following up will change your life. Yep. That's why following up was my second point, because the point I wanted to make was that changed our life. Following up with people changed our life, because when you follow up, you get to build the relationship. And as you start building a relationship, you start getting to know people. One, if you guys have the same background, not even the same background, but if you guys are trying to accomplish the same thing, that's a touch point. That's a point that you guys can relate to. But for us, following up and building those wealthy relationships have changed our life. So we went to a dinner and we met somebody and we had a great conversation with this person. At the dinner, it was a bunch of people that was there, and we had a great conversation with this particular individual, and we followed up with this person within 24 hours. And here's somebody who could potentially invest with us, somebody who has a lot of resources, a lot of connections. And now, because we followed up with that person, would you say that I wouldn't even say build a stronger relationship with that person, but that's happened. So no, I think what Jeremy's trying to say, and just simply, one, there's a few things that we did in order to make this happen. Number one, we were vulnerable. We stepped outside well, it's not uncomfortable for us, but we were vulnerable. We went to this event and we were talking. We were sharing our story. Right? Some people are embarrassed about their history or where they come from. From us, Jeremy and I embrace it because it has helped us who we are, and we were sharing our story with the guy. Two, we understood how to ask the right questions and have an engaging conversation, so the guy would want to get to know us, because, like Jeremy said, this is a very wealthy individual. This is someone who's, since now he knows what we do, he wanted to invest with us. And then, as we mentioned, the most important part is we followed up. Hey, man, great to meet you. You inspired us with your story. We would love to keep this conversation going. And then that's when he invited us to lunch. But then we was trying to coordinate a date, and it took them a couple days to get back to us, and we had to follow up again to remind them, hey, remember, we were supposed to do lunch, we were supposed to do lunch or dinner. When are you guys available? you guys need to understand when you're following up with people that you're not bothering them, and people are busy. And if you want to be remembered, you need to make them remember you through your conversations and through your actions, meaning follow up. So, yeah. So my next point that I want to make, and when it comes to following up, is be prepared. And when I say be prepared, is understanding, one, how you can add value, understanding what it is that you do, meaning know your elevator pitch, know what problem you solve, and then also understanding what you're struggling with and what you may need help with. Because if someone asks the question, don't be afraid to be vulnerable and say, hey, this is what I'm struggling with, or this is what I may need help with. That person you're talking to may be the connection that you need that can help you overcome the hurdle that you're facing. So that was one of my points as well. But my be prepared was a little bit different than what Josh says, and I'll get to it in a moment. But Josh gave you guys some gems that I want to make sure that you guys understand. I probably ain't going to articulate as well as he did. And if I'm not able to, guys, go back and rewind, because he just said some real key things. So often we go places and we go without any intention. And we did that for so long. Now we're realizing everywhere we go, we want to move with intention. We want to know, what do we want to get out of this event? And again, that's not going in with a taker's mentality. Getting out meaning, if somebody asks me, if the opportunity presents itself for me to talk about my challenges, for me to be vulnerable and talk about my weaknesses, I'm going to know exactly what I need help with. I'm going to know exactly how I can add value to people. I'm going to know my elevator pitch. Guys, Josh just said something really cool. Now, as far as what I was going to say about being prepared, and I won't make this a point, but when I put be prepared as a point, I said that when you're going to some of these events, depending on the events, you may get access to the guest list. You may see who's there. If you're going to a governor's ball or the mayor's ball or just different events, you may get the guest list, or you may be able to see that beforehand. Do your research to see who's in the room. That was something that I learned from a big time developer who taught me. He goes to a lot of political events and he knows who's in the room, and he's doing research on people's agendas to see, okay, this person wants to get this accomplished. Let me see how I can help serve them. Knowing who's in the room and being prepared to have conversations allows you to ask engaging questions, which allows you to have amazing conversations. And that's been something that's been pivotal to me as I go out and I network and I meet people. Knowing who's in the room allows me to ask good questions. That's a bar, guys. That is a bar that Germ just dropped. And then even too, like, you don't got to go to the governor's ball, or you go to your local networking or your local real estate meetup event, and the guy who's on stage talking, or the panel that's on stage, figure out, okay, what are they doing and how can they add value, or how you can add value to them. So that's a great point that Germ just made. Yeah, so my third point that I want to talk about, and I got many, many more, and depending on time, we may keep going. My third point that I want to talk about today is, and it goes along with everything of what I said today, is build the database and stay in contact with people. Part of networking is staying in contact with people. So often before, what I would do is I would go meet people, talk to them, exchange contact information, and never talk to them again, and miss out on opportunities that could have transformed my life. So part of networking to me is staying in contact with people. And part of what we do is we build a database, and it ain't got to be no fancy database, no fancy CRM system. It could be as simple as an Excel spreadsheet, and you could just put your contacts in there and remember to follow up with these people. Josh, we gave you an example earlier. If you know photographers, send them stories. If you know real estate investors and you see something is happening with interest rates, hey, thinking about you, send them that information. If you know people's birthdays or special occasions in their lives, like their kids' birthdays, reach out to them and say something to them. That way you're just continuously building relationships, because, again, part of networking is constantly staying in contact with them and building connections so that you're not only reaching out when you need something. Yeah, that's another gem, guys. It's another bar that Germ just dropped, and I hope you guys didn't miss it, that, like, you want to stay in contact. Building the relationship is what changes your life. The relationship is what changes your life. The relationship is what changes your business. The relationship is what changes your bank account. It's the relationship. So, guys, what we're saying, like, I don't want you all to miss that. And I think the reason that we're harping on this so long is because I hate that we had to beat our head on the wall for the first 10 to 11 years in business. and not network properly and not build proper relationships. And we had to try to figure it out on our own. But since we've done that, our life has changed. Our business has changed. Our mind has changed. We've been exposed. So guys, when we're telling you guys this is real, guys. If you've been fortunate enough to still be listening and watching at this point, understand what we're telling you is something that would transform your life. And like Josh said, we had to bang our head against the wall to finally wake up and realize, stop being crazy, stop being stupid, for a lack of better words, and going to these places. You go there with intention, but then you get there and you just sit there and don't talk to nobody. We went to a networking event the other night, and I was just walking up to people like, did y'all came in together, right? Why y'all still together? You came here to meet people. Why you just standing on the wall thinking something gonna happen? Guys, don't go throughout your life missing opportunities to meet and connect with people. I think too, like, I want to take the show in a little different direction, help people understand, like, okay, like what you just said is key, and that's more so like what are some things that some things you should do in addition to what we said. One thing that you mentioned is, like, when you come to an event with somebody, when you're at that event, you should not talk to that person. Don't even talk to that person. Step outside your comfort zone, meet new people. Go to these events with a goal in mind and saying, hey, I want to talk to X amount of people. And if you want to take it to another level, as Jared mentioned, know who's on the guest list, know who you can add value to or who can help you, and be intentional. But guys, like, don't go to these events and do what we see everyone do. They just sitting there talking to the same person they came with. No, don't do that. My God, you stealing my thunder. My God, you stealing my thunder. I came with it. That was another point that I had. We had more time to give people that other point, guys. Real game right there. If you and guys, Josh and his wife LaVon, they do this so well. They go to events. They don't talk to each other the whole night until the night is over with. I've seen this in action, and me and Josh do this as well. We go to events together sometimes. Don't talk to me for the rest of the night. You go do your own thing. I do my own thing. I'll see you when it's time to leave. If you come into an event with somebody, you should not be talking to them. You know them already. You come into these events to meet somebody new, not talk to the same person you came with and have the same conversations that you always have and live the same life that you always live. Yeah. Guys, this is real game. Yeah. And then another thing too, guys, understand that it gets better with time. Yeah. Some people want to be the best networker they want. It doesn't work that way. It takes practice on how to ask the right questions. It takes practice on how to actively listen and generate. Like, that takes practice. But the more you do it, the better you would get at it. Because I remember with Jeremy and I, we was horrible. I didn't know how to keep a conversation going. I didn't know how to ask the right questions. But as I did more of it, as I practiced, and we got around different folks and different people, I got better at it. My God, speak for yourself. I was always A1 since day one. Now, I'm joking, guys.
I'm about to say.
Now, I'm joking, guys. But guys, so often, and I heard Alex Emergency say this, so often people never get started because they want to be perfect day one. Every time you start something new, you're going to suck. And it's not going to be a walk in the park getting better at it. And it's not supposed to be. That is growth. When that plant is coming out the ground, they got to push through. They got to push through the pain in order to grow and blossom. It's the same thing with everything in your life. Don't say, I ain't going to network because I ain't good at it. I don't know how to have conversations. I don't know how to keep a conversation going. You ain't going to ever know how to do it if you don't ever get started. And like Josh said, when we first started networking, we was horrible. I remember it. I used to try to go back to that boy and talk to him because, like, boy, I just had a terrible conversation and I don't know what I just said. But guys, we kept challenging ourselves and we kept being intentional so that we can grow, because again, we understood that the asset that can give us an infinite return, which is building relationships, it starts with networking. So you guys have to know how to network, and you have to learn how to be uncomfortable so that you can meet new people and continue to grow.
Yeah. No, that was another bar, man. This has been really, really a good episode. Something that I've enjoyed.
Don't short the people now. You owe us another point. Don't short the people. I done gave 3. You gave 2.
Big dog, I done came with 3, big dog.
No, my boy.
Big dog, I told him. Big dog, what this man talking about? I done came. Matter of fact, I came with 4. You and I had the same point. One of our points was the same.
No, I got you. So guys, the last point that I want to make today, that
that's a hack when it comes to networking is listen more, talk less. Talk less and listen more. You should be asking questions to figure out how you can help people. You should be asking questions to learn more about them. So often we all fall in love with hearing ourselves talk about ourselves and what we do and what we've accomplished. That does not benefit you. What benefits you is just listening to other people, talk and learning from them, getting exposure. So guys, when you're at wherever you are, learn to listen more and to talk less. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
I think it doesn't even matter what room you are in, because certain rooms we go in, we're the speaker, we're on the panel and people want to speak to us and ask us questions. But one thing that Jeremy and I both do is we ask questions, because most people, oh, how did you do this? How did you do that? And that's cool, but it's more so, okay, let me ask, what are you struggling with? Because like how I did something may not be of benefit to you. My journey looks different than yours. So for us, regardless of what situation you're in or what position you're in, like always practice listening.
Yes. You got any parting words? Guys, this has been a real networking masterclass. We didn't intend this episode to be exactly what it was today. We just wanted to give 3 points. But I'll thank Josh for making it go in a different direction and just allowing God to work and just speak through us. Because, guys, this has been something that he laid on our heart, and I'm happy that we was able to articulate it in the manner in which we did. Take what we're saying and please apply it to your life. And you don't got to be in business to network. You could be working a job. You could be a stay-at-home parent. You don't have to be just a big-time business person to get out there, to get exposure, to meet new people. So, guys, I know you got value today. So do your boys a favor. Hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. If you listening to us, hit that follow button. Leave us 5 stars. And share this episode with somebody so they can get exposure to these networking gems that we gave to you guys. And remember, exposure leads to expansion. Peace.
Expose and expand. Peace.